Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for the 11th of May. So the UK traders come back to their trading desks this morning after the public holiday on Friday. Also on Friday, of course, we had the non-farm payroll numbers, which were better than expected, but also painted a very dire picture of unemployment in the US. Having said that, the stock markets continue to be strong, continue to be held higher, and of course that's likely to continue for as long as the stimulus card is working there. So coming into the beginning of this week, we're seeing the focus move towards the easing of the lockdowns across the UK and Europe. And as long as that continues, that is likely to help to bolster markets going forward. So let's have a look at a few markets here that we're keeping an eye on and some of the opportunities that we're looking at. So if we come and take a look at the Dow here, first of all, and just remind ourselves of the macro analysis here, the market is sitting within quite an interesting sort of point that I've raised for a couple of weeks now, in the fact that the market's up against significant resistance levels within the context of a technical zone here, with the fib levels and also structure levels within the context of the market move and the coronavirus crash. So this is a potential sort of turning point at the moment. Doesn't mean to say the market will turn at this moment, but there is significant resistance for the market to move higher. So at the moment, particularly the levels up here around the 2470 area here, 2480 area, and also that 25,000, those are the key levels here that we've got for the market to move through if it's going to find some strength. Having said that, at this moment in time, the market is being held up sort of fairly well, and again, that's on the back of positive statements and also more stimulus that keeps being ploughed into the economy, which finds its way into the stock markets. If we take a look at the Dow here on the daily time frame, you can see that where the market is at the moment, the just shy of that 20 sort of 4,700 level is the key here. And what I'm looking for here is just to see whether, I don't want to fight this trend because it's certainly whilst the market is in a long trend, there can be opportunities in intraday opportunities. But at this moment in time, I'm looking for weakness coming in because we've got a high here, we've got a higher high here at a key level. If the market makes a lower high in from roughly where it is now to the previous high, then we're going to have a typical sort of heads and shoulders pattern here. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. That could be enough to start to trigger some weakness coming into these markets. So if we just come and take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame, you can see where the market is at the moment. It's just around that 24,300 area. Above that, and that's within that sort of trading window now, up towards 24,680, 24,700. That level up here, and certainly within this sort of trading window, is where I'm sort of looking to see whether the market actually finds weakness in here. So at the moment, I'm certainly not going to trade or sort of step in front of this long trend that we're seeing here. But if we see a formation here to the short side and a setup short, that's certainly what I'm sort of looking for. If we come and take a look at a couple of other Forex markets here, we come and take a look at Great British Pound against the yen. Now, these markets are starting to look rather sort of weak, particularly the Great British Pound over the sort of past couple of weeks here. Sterling has got a few things to deal with, not only the economy and the lockdown, just like everybody else, but also we've got sort of Brexit that's going through as well. It may impact on the strength of sterling in the sort of short term, but I think in the long term, this market, will still be strong. It will sort of come through. But at the moment, the market's up against some rather interesting levels and across the board here for sterling. So taking a look at pound yen, you can see that the market's up against this sort of structure point here around 132.5. If the market gets underneath here, I'm looking at sort of short positions for a move to the short side here. Now, when we come down to the lower time frames, like here on the daily, I'm still liking this sort of structure to the short side. It's looking like we're starting to formulate a short trend, particularly if we can start to get some weakness, and this is a turning point here. The one challenge that we have with pound yen is the relative sort of size of the trading windows available, certainly in sort of in the near term, if you have a look at this on the 4-hour time frame. So that turning point, potential turning point here, doesn't leave an awful lot of room down to 132 and the sort of next sort of trading window. So whilst if this does go, one of the markets that I'm also liking the look of is pound Swissy, because these are likely to follow in sort of correlation. But Great British Pound against the Swissy here on the daily time frame, again we've got a cleaner level through here, cleaner structure point around that 120 level. And again, taking this down to the lower time frame, we've got some cleaner structures here on the 4-hour time frame as well. So again, weakness in Great British Pound. I'm favouring opportunities in the pound against the yen and pound against the Swissy markets. Now, if we come to the euro here, I think the euro is also another one to keep an eye on this week, particularly as the market is coming back down to test the 108 level. Now, the market here has tried to rally up past sort of 109 before. It's tried to sort of make some real headway, but it's failed. And if it can't go any higher, it's likely to go one way. So we're seeing a market pushing down back towards 108 again. Now, if it does break through 108, there is some significant sort of size trading windows to the short side. And if we just sort of zoom out of this, you can see that we've got to move down here, potentially down to around 106.5. That's the next sort of trading window that we see here. So we'd need to see the market underneath this sort of 108 level for that. Now, of course, this is a US dollar strength play. So if the US dollar continues to strengthen, then this is a market here where we're looking to take advantage of that. So strength in the dollar, we're likely to see euro underneath 108, and that could facilitate this to a push to the short side. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on going into the sort of beginning of this week. I certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.